episode of Who Would Win, a show that completely ignores anything important happening in the world and instead focuses on a fictional battle between characters from the worlds of comics, sci-fi, and fantasy. I'm your host, James Gabsy, and as always, I'm joined by the one and only Eric Holmes. In today's episode, a blood-fueled devil hybrid who turns himself into a whirling chainsaw of carnage, that's a thing, takes on a demon-slaying swordsman whose compassion only enhances his killing precision. In one corner, you have Chainsaw Man, a devil-powered wild card with chainsaws for limbs, a hunger for blood, and zero regard for fighting fair. And in the other corner, you have Tanjiro Kamado, a kind-hearted demon slayer whose mastery of deadly sword techniques is fueled by unwavering resolve and compassion. As usual, I did the patented Who to Win Google test just to see how many times this matchup has been discussed, and this exact battle has been hotly debated before, but has never gotten the in-depth who would win treatment it deserves until today, that is. Eric, I have to know, what are your thoughts in today's matchup?
Well, just before we get started, for all our listeners, just know this is going to be a very ridiculous battle, and most of it is because of Chainsaw Man. But it's gonna get wild. So
I don't understand. This is a wholesome character.
Very wholesome. Well, not so wholesome.
No, he's not. Great for the whole family.
Rather broken up.
Yeah, if your family is made up of weird old dudes who live in someone's basement, I think it's. Yeah, I don't know what was going on.
In a lot of pieces.
Like, you know, listen, I try to be as creative as possible if we're coming up with like new movie ideas or show ideas or something like that.
Absolutely.
I don't know what was happening with the minds behind Chainsaw Man. And by the way, I don't actually think I want to know either. I think that might just drive me to madness. But it's an interesting character. I was watching it, made a big mistake, watched it with one of my kids. He's 14, almost 15, so it's a little bit different. And even my kid was like, "Dad, I don't think you should be watching this." Like, I just think this is not good for you. And I'm like, and he wasn't wrong. Although I did love it. And
what I am excited about is we will make our audience and our listeners know about Chainsaw Man. We're going to represent him.
We're going to listen. Chainsaw Man is it's so weird. Chainsaw Man is a beloved character around the world. Movie coming out, the whole thing. This is the power of anime, by the way. Like, what's next? Spoon finger guy? Is there,
garbage disposal
guy? I had one of those at the bottom of next to my screen. Anyway, the point is, it's just getting crazy. But let's see what our judge has to say, because coming back for another episode of Who Would Win, it's the only adult in the room. It's the person who walks in who's about 5'6", but walks in as if they're 7'5", because they have that kind of presence about that, right?
5'11".
5'11"? Yeah, sure. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It's the one and the only. It's Tadeo. Tadeo, welcome back to Who Would Win.
Well, I'm excited to be back here, and I got to tell you, the ridiculousness and the craziness and the insanity of this battle already has me excited. I was on my AMC movie pass. I'm a premier member, so 3 movies a week.
Fancy.
And this Chainsaw, I had to flex that. This $30 a month flex. This Chainsaw Man popped up, this movie feed, and I couldn't understand this, if this was real or just somebody hacking into my system. So I really think that these two gentlemen, Tanjiro Kamado and Chainsaw Man, belong in the same room. And I'm happy. I'm here to oversee this battle.
These two characters couldn't be more polar opposite, which, by the way, maybe that's why, to Eric, when he says that these battles, for some reason, make a lot of sense. I guess I'm now starting to drink the Kool-Aid and understanding what King Eric is saying about this.
Thank you.
I will give out a warning to kids at home and families. The motivation of Chainsaw Man is a little dubious at best. I'll try to leave out as many details as possible, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. Listen, before we get into this, we've been talking about the Legion of Audience, our fan base, and there are a lot of people have been reaching out to the show and saying how much they love Eric, how much they love Tadeo.
Thank you.
By the way, I'm here too.
It.
I'm just saying that we need to thank certain members of our greater Who Would Win audience from different social media platforms. We've got Ken Turner, aka the Viking, from X.
All right.
Really cool. We've got Sinjin. I'm just going to call him Sinjin. This guy is, I don't know how to put it. Eric, you're really good at debates, and I'm winning some, losing some, but thank God you're not Sinjin. This guy pulls up information from I don't know where.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this guy is insanely smart.
Very cool.
And good resource. I'm going to be using him for a lot more battles, by the way. Sorry, Eric. I'm just going to do it.
You.
Yeah, he's great. And a huge supporter of the show. Speaking of huge supporter of the show, James Ensall, who has a great show called Geek to Me Radio, live episodes every Sunday. Definitely check him out. He's out of St. Louis. Really wonderful human being. Great guy.
St. Louis.
He and I have been talking about Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman. Kevin Conroy passed away about 3 years ago.
Okay.
Super sad he did, but he's just a super good guy. Plus, I think he's got the Two Rivers comic convention not far from St. Louis. He puts on every once in a while too. He's awesome. And finally, last but definitely not least, C. Cedeno, a longtime fan on Facebook, great part of our massive Hoodwin Facebook group. They're absolutely fantastic. And listen, we'll talk about more of our fans as we go on with this. But the reality is, look, we do it for our fans and for money, but really our fans and and fans who bring money. But the point is, our fans are really the ones who get us through this. The Legion of Audience, you're absolutely fantastic, and we couldn't do this without you. Just gonna leave it at that. Eric, you're fairly new to the show. Same thing with you today. What do you think of our fan base?
Oh, well, I just wanted to say the supporters, the Facebook group, those on Instagram and other platforms, it's incredible that they're feeling our vibe. Mm-hmm. We're bringing the geek and nerd culture to them. We're creating this world for them, and they're supporting us. Yeah. So I kind of feel like we're like Ali when he was in Africa, right? And he had the whole country running with him. They're with us. In the digital format, not in real life.
I love that.
Same thing.
Yeah, no, just to touch on what Tadeo was saying, and especially James, definitely internet, it could be a little wild and everything, but our show, we're grateful for everyone who listens. No time for any unnecessary comments or quote-unquote bullying and all that silliness. So definitely always reach out to us if there's any type of interaction that you're not liking, and we definitely want to highlight our long-time followers, and we're so thankful for all the support, and we're going to continue to create and create with you guys. And like we always say, any suggestions for battles or things you want to see or changes you want, we are a very involved, transparent group of people.
That's true. And I just want to say how thankful I am that Eric just volunteered to come to wherever you live and take on any type of bullies who you may be facing, whether it's in regard to the Who Would Win show,
just pay for a flight,
or just any aspects, right?
Yeah. First class flight.
Eric would need a first class flight.
Yes.
Very nice hotel. I think Caviar. It's a $500 per diem. Only eats kosher, I believe.
Yes.
But only the most kosher of bacon and shellfish products.
Yum.
So I think, but bring him out. He'll take out any bully you have. Never mind if it's with Who Would Win or just in general.
There you go.
Right. Yeah. Plus, he's great at birthday parties.
Yes.
Yeah, he's awesome. Not going to say why I know that, but he's great. Yes. All right, guys. In all seriousness, thank you, Legion of Audience. We will continue to do what we do for you. And please reach out. Let us know what you think. And the greatness will continue. By the way, last thing, if you look at all three of us, none of us look like the stereotypical, right? Like I'm just don't want to, this is kind of, I know we should do a video format, but none of us are these stereotypical, hey, I've not kissed a girl type of person, whatever. And I'll leave it at that. But we're a motley crew.
Thanks, bud.
You're welcome. I was talking about Tadeo, by the way. All right, let's get to this battle.
Thanks, bud.
But before we do, let's go over the basics of a Who Would Win match. Now, you should be able to make 3 points. Keep in mind that the Who Would Win match is a random encounter in a neutral location with no prior knowledge or prep time allowed, and the debater has to stay within the confines of the character. And when it comes to determining the winner, it's the judge who has the final say and will determine which character lost based on death, incapacitation, battlefield removal, with no outside interference being allowed. Remember, the bottom line in a Who Would Win match is that for one side to get the win, their opponent must be somehow incapacitated for a minimum of 2 minutes where they pose no threat whatsoever. And before we get started, don't forget to leave the Who Would Win show a 5-star rating and a fantastic written review wherever you download and listen to podcasts. And now let's get to the tail of the tape for both of our combatants. Eric, please give us the details. I can't believe this, for Chainsaw Man.
Absolutely. I will represent you, Mr. Chainsaw Man. Listen, he is a broken teen turned devil hunter turned literal chainsaw moving around tornado. Denji made a deal with his pet devil, Pochita, and became the terrifying Chainsaw Man, a being that devils fear like a mist come to life. In the anime, Denji tears through devils like the Bat Devil, Leech Devil, and Katana Man using brutal chainsaw attacks, ridiculous regeneration, and a crazy pain tolerance, which you guys are going to see. So high, he'll keep fighting with limbs torn off. He's reckless, fast, unpredictable, and can come back from near death by doing what? Chugging demon blood like it's Gatorade. He's not just dangerous, he's chaos with a pull start. That's Chainsaw Man, my friends.
Sorry, kids at home. I just want to add that at the end. All right. Well done, Eric. And here are the facts for Tanjiro Kamado. Now, this is a kind-hearted kid with a steel will, a sword forged in fire. Tanjiro has a nose that can smell emotion. After demons slaughtered his family and turned his sister Nezuko into a demon, whom he now protects, Tanjiro joined the Demon Slayer Corps and quickly rose through the ranks thanks to his genius-level adaptability and pure heart. In the anime, he masters water breathing, then transitions to the far more dangerous Hinokami Kagura, which is sun-breathing style, to face monsters like Rui, Enmu, Daki, and Gyotaro. If you know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. He's incredibly fast, tactically brilliant, and fights through broken bones and exhaustion if it means protecting others. His compassion is his anchor and also his deadliest weapon. And now you have the facts on both opponents. Tadeo, do you have any questions before we get started?
Well, I did. I had a question. Are there any morals, values, and ethics when we're dealing with Chainsaw Man? I'm a little concerned with the caliber human being.
I mean, I'm sure he's got some morals that are horrible, some ethics that are questionable. He is an interesting individual. I think it's good that Eric is the one representing him.
Thank you.
And by the way, bottom line, he's fun to watch.
Well, that's what matters. So we will love excitement. And tell me about Tanjiro's fighting style. I know he has this sword forged in steel, correct?
Correct.
But what is his exact fighting style, or where did he learn?
His fighting style is excellent.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all.
I'll reveal more.
Okay.
I'll reveal more.
Okay.
What's funny is, like, I don't know if you understand the format of the show. What we do is we have a point number one, and then I talk about, maybe some stuff. And point number two, and then
I already render my decision before it starts.
I knew it.
I take, you know what I mean, my Swift numbers on my Instagram. So it's like whoever wires me money, I don't do Zelle and Venmo, just wires.
Just wires.
I'm located in the Cayman Islands after the year.
Oh, fantastic. I think those gift certificates from Erewhon that Eric sent you aren't redeemable for cash. I've been to Erewhon. That's going
to be a problem.
Good smoothies, I hear.
That's right. All right, Eric, go ahead and hit us with your point number one.
All right, yeah, so let's get into it. All right, so literally, back to Chainsaw Man, you can't kill what's already in pieces. Denji doesn't just walk through pain he laughs at, okay? In the anime's very first episode, he's chopped into meat by a zombie army, only to rise as Chainsaw Man and rip every last corpse to ribbons in a storm of motorized carnage, all right? Fun fact. He literally becomes Chainsaw Man by pulling a ripcord in his chest, where he then sprouts chainsaws from his arms, legs, and head. Later, against Katana Man, he's skewered again and again, yet grins, chainsaws ablazing, and still slices his foe in half. And let's not forget the time he gets his guts spilled out in the hallway, drinks some blood, revs up, and goes full blender. Chainsaw Man doesn't just heal, he weaponizes suffering and comes back hungrier every time, and apparently thirsty. All right, just some notable powers to know about with him. He has super regeneration, where he can heal, durability, where he can survive decapitation, explosions, and being torn apart. Important information. He also has superhuman strength, where he's strong enough to slice through concrete, demons, and giant monsters. He has super speed reflexes, where he can move fast enough to dodge bullets, and he also has superhuman endurance. Okay, so all that, James, is my brief little synopsis of Mr. Chainsaw Man.
Is that his formal title, Mr. Chainsaw Man? That's his.
He's earned Mr. after hearing what
he's
this
like
guy
Mr.
can do.
Chainsaw Man,
that.
Esquire the Third kind of thing.
Right.
All right. So I'm quite familiar with Chainsaw Man. Good job representing him, what he can do. What's funny to me is that the way he turns into Chainsaw Man, I actually see it as a weakness. Because it's not like someone who can activate the powers. He just thinks about it and he turns into it or something. He actually has to pull this ripcord 1980s lawnmower style. You know what I mean? Right? And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, I think, even when he's fighting and if he needs to power up a little bit more, he still has to pull on it, right?
Pull action.
Yeah. So I wonder what happens if that cord gets cut. And I don't know, could a sword cut a cord maybe? I'm just thinking outside the box.
But you know how fast he pulls that cord?
Yeah, like almost as fast as you have to pull a cord for a 1980s lawnmower. It's crazy. Anyway, which is fast, by the way, with a lot of strength.
Pretty good
sounds like
angle
he
there.
cleaned some lawns.
I remember my dad doing that, and then he turned into Lawnmower Man. No, sorry, that's a different movie. Okay, let me get to my point number one. For my point number one for Tanjiro, he's kind of like a swordsman who dances with the sun. I'm going to get really fancy for a second. So Tanjiro, unlike Chainsaw Man, he doesn't need blood or chaos. He has what the refined people of LA call grace under fire. In episode 19 of the anime, he executes what's called the Hinokami Kagura, and one of the most beautifully animated moves in anime history. Spider-Man wishes he can move that well with the agility, the fluidity, the speed, the coordination. This is someone who puts everything together and then just makes it really, really effective. Chainsaw Man can do that to a degree, but he's chaotic and he misses a whole lot. You know who doesn't miss a whole lot is Tanjiro. This is someone who's highly accurate with their strikes. You know, as someone who loves combat sports, I look at the stats of MMA fights and boxing, like, hey, how many times their punches have landed or what have you? When I watched Tanjiro and there was that great Demon Slayer movie that came out, and I'm like, hey, I wonder how many times he's landing. He's either landing all the time or he's, you know, hitting his opponent and it's being blocked barely, but he's always insanely accurate. Chainsaw Man misses a lot because of his fighting style, and that's going to create a lot of openings. On top of that, Tanjiro mixes, you know, different breathing styles. He's got his water breathing with sun breathing, and this creates like this really deadly symphony of technique. He's perfectly timing each slash, each breath, each dodge. While Denji's busy spitting chainsaws, literally like a maniac, Tanjiro's kind of, I don't know what the right way, composing violence in a downfall of his opponent, like a fiery, I don't know, violin solo. It's really, it's beautiful to watch, and that's what Demon Slayer is known for when Tanjiro starts fighting. The contrast in fighting style are very, very different. One is highly efficient, highly accurate, highly, you know, effective. The other one is just brutality that's fun to watch. And what's really fun to watch is when he misses and gets hit really hard and thrown through a building. That's the cool part. So what's the difference between both of these? Well, the water breathing gives his swordplay fluidity and adaptable movements that mimic, you know, flowing water. The sun breathing, the original most powerful style, kind of channels this intense heat and speed like the sun itself. And this allows Tanjiro to unleash like insanely devastating flame-like attacks and that overwhelm most demons. So in Chainsaw Man's world, he's got devils. In Demon Slayer, it's demons. You can say it's kind of like the same thing on either side of a coin, what have you, but they're very vastly different. The demons have different powers, different regeneration abilities, different absorption things, whatever it is. And when Tanjiro fights them, it's not like he's fighting something that's going to either eat you or beat you up. It's something that's going to absorb your spirit. It's going to absorb your soul. The stakes are way freaking higher. It's not that you're just going to die. You may be in for an eternity of torment. That's when Tanjiro is fighting against and prevailing against, and he's doing it really well. That's my point number one.
So Tanjiro sounds very precise.
Correct.
In a nutshell. Okay. So with that being said, he may be precise with all his precision and skill and, you know, this accuracy and persistence, but Denji doesn't need finesse. He survives what should kill him and turns damage into weaponized power. 1 chainsaw rev, 2 chainsaw revs, 3 chainsaw revs, okay? And speed, skill, or grace won't matter against these revving chainsaws that your guy has, okay? Anyone in Denji's path literally gets shredded by these chainsaws before one perfect tactical swing can even land on Chainsaw Man.
You know, when you were saying 1 chainsaw, was it pull or 1 chainsaw swing, 2 chainsaw? I was picturing the Count from Sesame Street. Right? Can you imagine there's a Chainsaw Man, the Count from Sesame Street crossover event?
Oh,
he's like, 1 chainsaw swing.
Which could happen on the Who Will Win show.
Oh, totally. Oh, my God. Because the Count is insanely powerful. It's a vampire that's lived over for a million years. I mean, just don't get me wrong. All right, listen. Stop talking about Sesame Street, Eric, you monster.
I know.
Let's talk about Chainsaw Man, who's also a monster. But Tadeo, who, you've seen one point from both of us. Where's your head at so far with this battle?
I'm seeing this barrage of chainsaws coming at me. I'm kind of getting nervous over here. I'm backing up. I'm backing up because I don't want to get turned into mincemeat. So I'm seeing the sheer devil like chaos of Chainsaw Man, and I'm seeing the suave kind of like Bruce Lee sword wielding Tanjiro. So I'm seeing different worlds in the same room, and that's what we create here. But that's a battle. It's savagery because there's nothing alike in their styles and who they are and what they stand for. So it's going to come down to Devil versus Demon Slayer. Excuse me. This is heavy. Oh, I like this. Devil versus Demon Slayer.
Here we go.
So that's what I'm seeing. and I'm not going to share who's winning thus far.
All right, well, there you have it. This is heavy. It's Devil Killer Destroyer versus Demon Slayer. A match that you kind of thought was going to happen no matter what. It's kind of like Batman versus Captain America. These two are on a collision course. By the way, in anime, every once in a while, there's this crossover stuff that happens. Who knows? This could actually happen. All right, but stay tuned because we're about to get to our point number 2. And we're back. Eric, hit us for your point number 2.
All right, here we go. Yes. So listen, this is literally a madman's battle plan. Want to know what it is? Just keep on slashing. All right. Chainsaw Man, like I said, he does not analyze the opponent. I think we got that cleared up. He literally annihilates them. Against the Eternity Devil, he fights for 3 straight days, no breaks, no sleep, just a non-stop blood and screams, just going uncontrollably. Denji's idea of tactics are bite them, gut them, drink their blood, then chainsaw again. And it works. He doesn't fight fair because life has been fair for him, okay? The more chaotic the battle, the better he gets. You think you've trapped him? Nah, he'll chew your face off and laugh doing it. Predictability is for amateurs. Denji's strategy is literally pure, glorious mayhem. All right, and also other things I want you to keep in mind. He's got even more powers that will get him the win. For example, he's got the power of fear amplification, where the stronger people's fear of chainsaws are, back to chainsaws, the stronger he becomes. Like, oh, you ain't heard he's revving high enough? Oh, you don't know that? I'll be right here. We got this steel, good old chainsaw brand going. Well, guess what? I got enough gas, and all these trees getting cut down, including you. All right. So also devil hybrid power, which means as a chainsaw man, he can erase other devils' existence from reality by killing them. He can use his chains on top of his saws as weapons, where he can extend them to snare and pull opponents or slice distant targets, so you got some reach. Imagine you having one of those just walking around like a winter, like, man, we need some firewood, let's go get it. I got this thing, just fly out there and just rip everything down. So he has that, all right, and he also has the power of resurrection, where if he's somehow killed which this isn't an easy guy to kill. Like, he's just hanging around, chopped up, like we said, like minced meat, corned beef hash, which can be quite delicious from time to time. Anyways, he can literally be resurrected through the blood or fear of others remembering him. So then there's that, okay? And all that, James, my point number 2.
All right, that's cool. So a lot of good stuff about Chainsaw Man. Here's the deal. Everything that Chainsaw Man brings to the table, Tanjiro's already faced as, in terms of demons. Right, and because if you think about it, what is unique about Chainsaw Man other than he's got a chainsaw out of his head and arms, whatever? They're blades that are insanely, can cut through things really, really quick. Plus he's fast and strong and what have you, and can heal from like crazy injuries, dismemberment, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's called like every Saturday for Tanjiro. He's faced off against that before. On top of that, Chainsaw Man can resurrect or regenerate or what have you if he drinks devil's blood. They call it demon, but it's really devil's blood. You know what's not involved in this battle right now? Devil's blood. Where's he going to get it? He's not going to have that source to regenerate. Now, when he's fighting devils, sure enough, something happens. He's got plenty of devil blood to drink because he's fighting them. They're right there. Constant supply. He doesn't have that here. That's the problem. The longer this fight goes, the weaker Chainsaw Man gets. We saw that in one of his first big battles against that Bat Devil, where as he's fighting, all of a sudden he starts losing power, and then he pulls on that ripcord or whatever again, and the chainsaw that pops out of his head is only like 5 inches long. Right? Because he's just like, I've got no power anymore, whatever. Don't read into it too much. I'm just trying to say he didn't have that. And then luckily someone else came in for the save. My whole point being is the longer this fight goes, the weaker Chainsaw Man becomes, but the stronger Tanjiro becomes. And I'll get into that, for my point number 2. Speaking of point number 2, let me just go there. Let's call this calm mind, but killer edge. See, Tanjiro thrives in these really cool pressure cooker situation, chaotic situations. And he does it with grace under fire. I mentioned that before. He's fighting these demons, Daki, Gyotaro, 2 powerful demons at once, where he's also poisoned and on the brink of defeat, but he doesn't break. He slows his breathing, focuses his senses. This is really cool. Calculates the exact moment to strike, strike and takes them both out. That's when everything is going, against him. And he's like, God, I'll focus, breathe, and I'll become even more deadly. In the Entertainment District arc, I think it was episode 10, he's dodging attacks. His body's really broken. He's saving innocent people and still coordinating team attacks with his cohorts Zenitsu and Inosuke. And Tanjiro doesn't need chaos, by the way. He masters it. It's not a problem for him. So he turns every battle into this really cool chess game where he's always 2 moves ahead. The reason he has to do that, because he often finds himself outmatched in some way, shape, or form. Against Chainsaw Man, when he just walks in base form, and Chainsaw Man's already kind of at like a really high-powered form, I'm not gonna disagree. He's gonna be outmatched power and speed and everything, but that's where he starts and that's where he excels, because then he sees what's happening, figures out how to master it, and then figures out his plan and comes out ahead. Again, facing off against people as powerful as Chainsaw Man, he does that all the freaking time. In fact, he's faced off against way more powerful beings than Chainsaw Man. Now, here's the cool part. He's developed some special abilities during all his fighting. For example, he's got enhanced strength and speed where he can match or overpower the speed and strength of some insanely powerful demons he's fighting, because he taps into that inner power he's got, and through that motivation he's got, which I'll talk about in my point number 3. He uses those water breathing techniques, that fluid sword form that adapts like water, and he focuses on that precision, that defense, that flow, which overcomes any type of demon he's fighting that uses chaos and brutality and crazy movements. He's tailor-made to take on someone like Chainsaw Man. He's also got heightened smell, which I don't really think was a big deal, but he uses it. He uses that, like the sense of smell. He detects enemies, he detects emotions, and he detects openings in battles with a sense of smell. Who smells really weird and bad and doesn't bathe a whole lot and look after the personal hygiene? No, Eric's actually great. He does that all kind of, but no, I'm saying Chainsaw Man is known for not being someone who looks after himself. He's going to be smelling Chainsaw Man. He's like, yeah, he's about to come at me.
You can smell me.
I'm not, fool me once, Eric. I'm not going to smell you again. It wasn't bad. Not great. He also has this Demon Slayer mark, which temporarily on top of everything boosts his strength to insane levels. It boosts his speed, his reaction time. So he's already got a way to boost it, and he's got another way to boost it up again if he needs it, right? And then most importantly, he's got what it's called unyielding willpower. Why is that important? Because all of his physicals, all of that chi or that inner energy that comes out is based off willpower. The more willpower you have, the stronger you can become, the more, stamina you're going to have, the better your fighting techniques, because your willpower, if it's fueled by the right thing, will keep you going. This is an important part, which we'll discuss in point number 3. What fuels the fighting spirit of Chainsaw Man? Kids at home will get into it, and I hope I'm not going to go too crazy with this. It's very different than the noble things that fuel Tanjiro to continue to fight. That willpower to continue versus what Chainsaw Man is fighting for is going to make the difference. All that's my point number 2.
Okay, so look. First of all, I want to say Denji literally thrives in pressure. Okay, even though Tanjiro may fight with grace under pressure, this is what Denji does. All right, so I think one thing where Tanjiro will struggle though is that he is very calculated, and he's literally going against a moving meat object called Chainsaw Man. So I don't think he really has actually dealt with this type of situation. Okay, you gotta remember, every injury literally fuels him. So any strikes, anything he's doing to Chainsaw Man, it just literally fuels him. Okay, every slash, each time he might connect with his precision and his grace and his style, every slash literally makes Chainsaw Man stronger and stronger. So you were talking earlier about when he got into with the bat and everything, and him not being able to fuel up. But literally, as he's getting attacked, each slash from specifically, I'm gonna call him Commando, Tanjiro instead of Kamado. I'm gonna call him Mr. Commando. Every slash is just gonna make Chainsaw Man even stronger, and his regeneration turns devastating attacks into opportunities. Okay, so while Tanjiro is calculating, trying to predict the next move, Denji doesn't wait. He improvises violently, combining speed, sheer, and power, and relentless chainsaw assault. So I think Chainsaw Man will do just fine with all of his swordmanship that you're a commando guy is going to come at him with. And that's my rebuttal, James.
Without demon blood or devil blood, how does he regenerate? Is it, and I'm not trying to be like a weird, I'm just wondering, can he regenerate without devil blood that he can consume? And I'm not saying you need to answer that, but it's a question I have. It's a question, right? I just got to keep posing that out there, because as I'm watching Chainsaw Man, I'm like, well, if he doesn't have access to it, what happens. And again, it's just an intro. And maybe that's addressed in the movie, no spoilers, what have you. But none of that's important because we're now at the turning point. Today, we've heard 2 points from both Eric and myself. What side is ahead and what's the other side have to do to get the victory?
You know, at this point, I'm smelling the carnage. I mean, this is a smelly room. I mean, can somebody open the window? It's tough in here.
Wow.
But
That's a horrible thing to say about Eric.
The ability right now, Chainsaw Man, the utter chaos of these chainsaws, it just seems like it could be a little overwhelming. Although Tanjiro is used to and has a killer edge and that willpower, can he handle just sheer insanity from a person who feeds off of blood, who has no good, who doesn't represent anything? And I think there was a rumor, I don't know if it's true, there was a rumor about actually taking a life to maybe meet a woman.
Ooh. No, it was more about. I'll get into that. My point number 3.
All right.
So my point number 3.
Okay, good memory there, Tadeo. Like that.
But I'm excited about all this carnage. Trust me. But
there's gonna be a lot of carnage.
Okay.
All right. Very cool. So there you have it. I think we're kind of tied right now, if I'm not mistaken.
As of this point, we've got a Ring Girl holding up a 1-1, so it's a tie match.
Very
so
cool.
Okay.
All right. I'm liking
corner.
this.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. Stay tuned for point number 3. And we're back. Eric, go ahead and hit us for your point number 3.
Absolutely. All right, Tadeo, I see where you're at with it. Okay, back to our previous discussion though. Yeah, without access to devil blood, his regeneration is a bit limited. So not impossible, is more limited. Okay. All right. So with my point number 3 here, like we were saying, so it's devil power down to not 10 but 11. All right. So Denji isn't just strong; he's raw destruction in denim, mind you, and a little devilish grin while he's walking around in his little nice, Wrangler, old faithful Wrangler denim there. He literally chainsaws. He chainsaws the Bat Devil in half midair, rips the Leech Devil's tongue out with one arm, and literally turns himself into a blood spatter tornado. Where when cornered, the longer the fight, the more blood flying, blah blah in the air, the stronger he gets. All right, chainsaws on arms, chainsaw on head, chainsaws everywhere. If there's even one drop of blood nearby, he'll heal and hit harder. Okay, so you can't wear him down because the battlefield is basically his all-you-can-eat and drink blood buffet. There you have it. All right, and do you want to know just how insanely awesome Chainsaw Man is? Well, he defeated, I guess, the Eternity Devil, apparently. Did we forget about that? Where Chainsaw Man literally endured endless time loops and killed a devil that couldn't die. What? Which proved he's sheer will and stamina. He killed another, devil that literally, couldn't die. He also beat the Control Devil, where he's out-schemed one of the most powerful devils in existence. All right. I was going to say I got one sitting across from me, but I'm not going to do that to James. He's a nice guy. He's a nice, anyways.
The Control Devil.
Yeah, the Control Devil's right there. All right, anyways. He literally ended the Control Devil by... through manipulation. So that's how he beat her and control over humanity. He's also out there erasing devils from existence. He's basically just like an atom bomb devil completely from reality, okay? So Tanjiro may be one of the ultimate demon slayers, but Chainsaw Man is, once again, the ultimate devil killer. And all that, James, is my point number 3.
All right, one thing I can't take away from Chainsaw Man is the fact that he's taking out insanely powerful devils. He's carnage. He's got willpower. When he gets weak, he just like taps in and can actually, keep going in the fight much longer than you'd expect. But what you got to figure out here is that, when 2 people or 2 creatures are fighting against each other and they're evenly matched and the fight's going on, they're losing blood. He can't drink Tanjiro's blood because it's human blood. You got to think about what's motivating these guys, right? So what's motivating Tanjiro, his sister Nezuko, his desire to do good in the world, his desire to rid the world of like evil demons. What's motivating Chainsaw Man? I wonder. Does he have someone he's fighting for? No. Is it, I don't know, a noble thing? Like he's got to rid the world of devils or whatever? Not exactly. And sorry, kids at home, in his first episode, he wanted to... I'll just say this in a very weird way, have a special hug with a young lady. And the young lady said, great, if you beat this bat devil in such a way and rescue my cat, it's fine by me. And that was his motivation for beating the bat devil and the other devil as well. In another battle, one of these devil hunters, more of a human really, said, if you do this, you and I get to, her said we can kiss. And he's like, oh, wait, I can actually kiss a girl? Because he's never kissed a girl before. And that was his motivation for the next battle. All I'm trying to say is his motivations seem to be shallow at best. Right? The longer a fight goes, I don't think those motivations are going to help him get through the tougher and tougher battles. But Tanjiro's a little bit different. And let's talk about my point number 3. See, my point number 3, Tanjiro fights with his heart. And according to him, that's what hurts the most. I know that's a weird thing to say, but that's what powers him up the most as well. So he's not powered by blood. He's powered by purpose. He doesn't fight to win. I guess the best way to say it is he fights to protect people. And that makes him more dangerous than any devil, because in his final clash with this demon called Gyataro, Tanjiro's body is wrecked, right? He's poisoned, every muscle is screaming, but he still gets up, headbutts a demon, and literally carves a path through it to victory. His pain tolerance is absurd. His willpower is mythic. When Tanjiro, check this out, remembers his family, taps into his sister, who's now a demon, and he can't stand that. His friends being hurt. It's like a supernova goes off inside of him. And when that happens, literally it's game over. See, that's one of Tanjiro's keys to victory. Chainsaw Man will definitely be a threat to his sister. I don't want to say why or how. Chainsaw Man's just a weird thing. And Tanjiro carries his sister, as we all know, in the small little weird creepy box on his back where she stays in. And then he just kind of unleashes her when it's time for her to go full demon and crush things. It's kind of cool, kind of weird, kind of cool. And all of a sudden Chainsaw Man's going to be like, hey, who's that? Can I kiss her? Can I have a special hug with her? And Tanjiro's going to be like, what? What'd you say? Like, Eric, whenever someone gives my wife that kind of weird look, what do you think happens? I don't know. They turn into a smear on the wall. Yeah. Tanjiro's going to be doing that to Chainsaw Man. This is not a good idea. Chainsaw Man's fighting for what? Kissing a girl. That motivation's not going to last long. Now, and if all that wasn't enough, Tanjiro developed a new ability during the last part of the recent Demon Hunter movie. It's really cool. It's called Transparent World and Selfless State. Now, this is a fighting state where he somehow suppresses his fighting spirit, his aura, if you will, and any trace of emotion. And this allows him to mask his presence and avoid detection by his opponent. It's really interesting. It's not like he turns invisible. He just literally, all semblance of himself disappears. So he's facing off against this demon who's like omniscient almost. So that's the right way to say it in English, right? Where they can see everything. And he taps into this, and this demon all of a sudden is like, wait, I can't sense Tanjiro anymore. What is happening? And then when Tanjiro did that, this super powerful demon was completely at a loss, and Tanjiro just attacked completely undetected and took it apart. It was insane. Chainsaw Man has no defense against that. What does Chainsaw Man do when he fights some demon or some devil? And it's really cool. Well, he sees him first. He sees the devil. He doesn't kind of say, I'm going to close my eyes through the chainsaw and use my senses and just find whatever's undetectable. No, this is something that Chainsaw Man literally has no defense against. So take all the cool breathing techniques, the fluidity, the superpower, the enhanced power, the speed and everything. Never mind the motivation. Because Chainsaw Man, as his character, is going to say something really bad about Tanjiro's sister. Eric, you know where I'm going with this. Wild, yeah. This is going to be bad. And all of a sudden, Tanjiro is going to fight him with all that insane power, fluidity, technique. Chainsaw Man has no access to devil blood to recuperate or regenerate. Right?
Just fine.
And all of a sudden, he uses that transparent, whatever that's called, the transparent technique, transparent world, and goes undetectable by Chainsaw Man. That's how he gets the win. That's my point number 3.
Well, look, Tanjiro might get a little offended, but welcome to the real world. Just to wrap it up here, Mr. Chainsaw Man's going to be just fine, okay? So, yes, Tanjiro and the willpower. He got that strong willpower. He got that sword accuracy and all that. But I'm telling you, the regeneration is going to be huge. This is kind of a created thing. You're saying that he won't have access to the devil's blood, but that's not always a guaranteed. It's not always a guaranteed. So, look, Denji doesn't just rely on purpose, okay? He relies on raw, unending regeneration, like I was saying, and unstoppable offense. So he just keeps coming at you, cutting you down, destroying you. So no amount of heart, like you're a Tanjiro guy or, a code of conduct, can keep up with a chainsaw wielding hurricane that only gets stronger and stronger the more damage it takes. And all that's my rebuttal to your point number 3.
Interesting stuff, but it doesn't really matter what you and I say at this point, because it's up to our judge today. You've heard 3 points from both Eric and myself. Take us through your process. Tell a story, if you will, and let us know who wins this battle between Tanjiro Kamado and Chainsaw Man.
Are you ready, Tadeo?
I'm beyond ready. In this episode of Who Would Win, we've got Tanjiro Kamado versus Chainsaw Man. So in truth, we have a devil killer versus a demon slayer. So this is a universe they had to collide, and this is the perfect place for this epic, gory, smelly battle to take place. All right, there's going to be tons of carnage. So it's going to start with Chainsaw Man coming with a barrage at Tanjiro, and it's just too much. You're going to see Tanjiro just with his blade, sparks are flying. He's just overwhelmed with this barrage of just chaos and insanity and sheer evil. But then he smells something, and he smells the hatred and the violation and the lack of morals of Chainsaw Man. And he digs in deep, and he takes a deep breath, deriving power from the ocean and the sun. And he remembers the innocent sin of his sister before she was and is a devil, and fuels himself up. And as these sparks are flying, he all of a sudden turns into this supernova and disappears. It's something like a Broadway dance or like a play, and he just starts like Bruce Lee seamlessly coming around and starts by chopping off the head, then the arms, then the legs, and dismantling Chainsaw Man in a way kind of like ground beef, right? And in this carnage, the unfortunate thing, there is no Blood Aid or Gatorade that Chainsaw Man needs. So in this 2 minutes, as he's trying to find some blood, something to rejuvenate himself, he's rendered incapacitated. And as Tanjiro thinks of his sister and who she was and all the young woman that this violating Chainsaw Man has hurt, he wins this epic, bloody, smelling, and brutal, chaotic battle where there is no good when a devil killer and a demon slayer meet.
And there you have it. I got to tell you, listen, Chainsaw Man is awesome, really fun to watch. Kids at home, don't watch it. Let your parents watch it first.
Yes,
and
for sure.
But, you know, when it
They
comes,
might not be able to sleep, by the way, the parents
Probably
too.
not. Probably not. I mean, once I saw it, I was going out buying chainsaws, going after
those squirrels.
Devil hunt. Well, there's not a lot of homeless people in my house anymore. The point is... Sorry. Thanks for helping, Eric. The point is that when it comes down to these types of fights, and they're so evenly matched, it's like we did an episode years ago, Peter Griffin versus Homer Simpson. They're so evenly matched on paper, but all of a sudden you say like Homer Simpson's going to look and see like little Maggie and be like, oh my God, I'm fighting for Maggie, and dig deep, and that's what's going to give him the win. Whereas Peter Griffin's like going to say, oh, Meg, shut up. You know, there's not the same motivation. Same thing here. Chainsaw Man guaranteed is going to say something or do something horrible, not cool to Tanjiro's sister. Not, and listen, because they've got both sets of powers that could maybe cancel out or do some cool stuff, whatever it is. And all of a sudden, Tanjiro is motivated. Everyone who's a fan of Demon Slayer knows that if Tanjiro is motivated, it's game over in the most fun way possible, visually stunning way for whomever he's facing. I'm just going to leave it at that. With that being said, great job.
Thank you.
By Eric, repping Chainsaw Man. Is this your new Halloween costume? Is this something you're going to dress up? Are you about to buy more chainsaws? Where's your head at with, you know, what just happened with this great debating display you put on?
Well, I was at actually a steel chainsaw cutting event up in Minneapolis. I was actually at the Minneapolis St. Paul State Fair, where they literally have the brand Steel annual chainsaw competition. And what I seen them cut with these chainsaws, it was unreal. So look, I feel that I guess our judge made his choice and everything, but I will go back to that competition and talk with them and be like, hey, just try to keep the insults a little light around town, you know, because there's a guy, Sanchio, that might get a little extra pissed. But other than that, keep on freaking firing up them chainsaws and slicing, baby. But hey, you got the win on this one. You got the win on this one.
Thank you very much. So you're saying keep firing up the chainsaws and slicing.
Yeah. Just don't insult people's family, right?
Brought to you by John Deere.
I guess.
John Deere's chainsaws, not just for chopping down trees, chopping down devils.
The guy just shows up with a John Deere chainsaw. Like, I didn't know they made chainsaws. That'd be pretty nice to see. I'd be like, yo, all right, Deere's in the chainsaw market now too. Damn.
Yeah, John Deere doesn't really have that much to do with deer, mind you, like the animal.
Or maybe a last name or something.
It could be a last name, or maybe a fancy. Maybe it's Deere. I don't know. Maybe it's French.
Derriere.
It's Deere.
Well, there you go. You got
John Deere likes the French deer, is what I'm trying to say with a chainsaw. Okay, Tadeo, great job again. This was not an easy battle.
No, it wasn't.
Especially when you're bringing the insanity that anime can bring to the table like it did today. But great job. Yet again, you came up with an amazing judgment and declared an incredible winner in a great way, as always. We can't wait to have you back for next episode. Until then, tell the Legion of Audience, our fan base, where they can find you online.
Well, you can find me online at Cuerpazo, Cuerpso, and you might see me at the AMC movie theater at the Chainsaw Man movie.
Ooh, I'll be there with you.
I'm signing autographs after.
Yes.
Selfies during and before, autograph after.
Hell yeah.
I love it. You know what? I could see Eric, if this ever goes live action, listen, as a producer, right?
Yes.
And I love superhero content. I'm just going to put it out there. Eric Holmes as Denji in the live action
Wow.
Chainsaw Man thriller. What do you think?
We need to get this on the books.
I'm just
I
telling
like that
you,
idea.
this is going to make dozens of dollars.
I'm game, man. If I could just like run in there like nice and oiled up, you know, let's lather, you know, just enhance the sheen, you know.
You know
what? I'm
what?
saying?
You had to go a little just too far. I'm afraid. I'm sorry.
I'm
I'm taking away funding for Chainsaw Man. I didn't know there was lathering
darn.
going on.
Cancel.
Thank you.
Just saying it's a thing. But Eric, tell the Legion of Monster fan base where they can find you online.
Yes, at THE Eric with the C Holmes HOLMES. Let's connect.
Very cool. You can find me on X, aka Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook by typing in at James Gabs. You remember to join the official Who Would Win Facebook group to make a suggestion for a matchup for the show and be part of our growing community. You can also find us on Instagram and Threads and TikTok at Who Would Win Show. Don't forget to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you go for your podcasts. On behalf of myself, Eric Holmes, Tadeo, and the rest of the amazing Who Would Win production team, including Jeremy, thank you once again for checking out another episode of Who Would Win, including Jeremy. We'll see you next time.